जय श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। जय यशोदा दामोदर जी की। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. जय श्री हरिनाम। Krishna Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hey, Bo! I can't hear you. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan Yajna ki, Yashoda Damodara ji ki, Nitai Gaura Premanande. Have you all realized one thing in our sampradaya? You will realize that Srila Prabhupada never did pranayama exercises, no breathing exercises. You will also realize that we have no evidence of our previous acharyas sitting down to perform anything yogic. The reason they didn't have to was because they were always chanting Krishna's names. If you really sing loud enough and you use your lungs to breathe and chant idea to the point where we forget that the power of the holy name is so powerful that actually it is a natural breathing process as you sing, as you chant. If you chant the holy names loudly, you are already regulating your breath very nicely without separate endeavors. In Kali Yuga, the only sacrifice, the only yajna is Harinam Sankirtan. There is no other recommendation for anything else. So sometimes we have to be very clear about our goal and not be distracted by other goals. But the problem is we don't sing enthusiastically sometimes, or we don't sing loud enough to increase our lung capacity. I remember when we used to chant in front of my Guru Maharaj would say, you must sing loudly, then your lung capacity increases, your oxygen goes in, and all that is happening while you are chanting. So why to do separately, then you sit down and do pranayam and you do this and you do that. Do it as you are singing. That's why we ask devotees, sing loudly, right? Because when you sing loudly, our Mahamantra is designed in such a way that it regulates your breath very automatically. You don't have to worry about anything extraneous. Sometimes we forget that Srila Prabhupada gave us something very pure, and there's no need to add. There's no need to subtract, there's no need to divide and multiply, and we really don't need to add and add and add or even embellish something. The purer something is, the purer diamond is in its purest state, the more valuable it is, isn't it? The more it is mixed with other metals and traces of other substances, the more unpurified it becomes. So if you want to take up, same thing with gold. If you mix gold with too much, it reduces its purity. But if you keep gold as gold, then it is always gold. So as devotees, we have to be very careful, because we are growing up in an atmosphere where many different things are challenging us. And we think, let me incorporate a little bit of that and a little bit of this. But at the end of the day, we should have complete faith in the chanting of the names of the Lord. It doesn't matter what faith you belong to. You know, the Christians chant the names of the Lord, the Muslims chant the name of the Lord. Every culture that we have chants the name of the Lord. And if we chant it sincerely, the effect is the same. The effect is just as powerful. So therefore, it doesn't matter how we name God. Srila Prabhupada said, God is God, right? You may call him by a different name, but ultimately the Supreme is the Supreme. And therefore, whatever that is given from him is always pure, is always pure. This beautiful pastime of Mother Yashoda and Damodara is based on this concept of purity. It is based on the concept of single concentrated understanding of devotional service. Mother Yashoda woke up in the morning, and on the morning of Diwali, she wanted to perform a service, and she wanted to perform that service for Krishna's satisfaction. And that was her only motive, to wake up in the morning of Diwali, to dress up very nicely. But her goal was very single-minded. Sometimes when we have a big occasion, we are all over the place, right? And we forget the goal because we get distracted by so many things. But Mother Yashoda woke up on Diwali day, got ready, but her goal was very simple. Her goal was, how do I serve Krishna? That is the goal. Now Diwali is coming, so we should test ourselves on the morning of Diwali what our goal is, right? Our goal is to serve Krishna. And Mother Yashoda had a single-minded purpose. And that is why one of the great symptoms of a devotee is a devotee is ekena manasaha. In Bhagavatam, the words are ekena manasaha. It means a devotee is single-minded in his or her devotion. Even in the material world, when you go to work, for example, you are very single-minded about what is the day's goal and what I must achieve. Isn't it so? If you're at home, for example, and you're a homemaker, you are also single-minded and you know exactly what you have to do. So therefore, in the material world also, we know the value of concentration. And concentration equals to purity. When you have orange juice and it's concentrated, the more concentrated it is, the less diluted it is, correct? And the more concentrated it is, the more purer it is in its absolute natural content. That's why if you were to drink orange juice concentrate, for example, right? If you take one whole glass of orange juice concentrate, you'll get diabetes immediately. I'm joking, huh? Hopefully you wouldn't take it, but it's just too strong. You can't take it, you dilute it. Devotional service is supposed to be concentrated. The more you dilute it, the more you lose its taste and its value. So Mother Yashoda woke up in the morning. Yoga yukto vishuddhatma, vijitatma jitendriyaha. All her senses were focused on serving Krishna. And because she wanted to serve Krishna, she worked. She churned butter with devotion. Very important. She performed an apparently mundane activity with spiritual devotion. Arjuna did the same thing also. In fact, Krishna also did the same thing to the Pandavas. In the first canto, 15th chapter, Arjuna is remembering the glories of Krishna, how Krishna served them, and Krishna is God. And he remembers one point when Krishna, he would think, Krishna, in so many different capacities, you actually were single-minded and devoted to us. You were a night watchman on the days of the battle. In the night, you stood watch outside our camp with a sword in hand. And Bhagavatam said the sword was unsheathed. That's how alert Krishna was. Most of the time you see security, how are they in the nights? You have to wake them up, isn't it? You know, in Rajkot temple, we have our security man. Okay, he's a local from Rajkot. And he's very special. Through the whole night, he's sleeping. He has a bed outside near the gate, but he sleeps very well. In the morning, he is the first person to appear for Mangala Arati. Way ahead of all the other devotees. When the president tells him, your job is to stay awake in the night because you're a security man, he is very calm. He laughs and says, Krishna is our original security. Why should I be worried that the compound will not be taken care of? On that faith, I'm sleeping. 15 years have gone by, everything is fine, so I'm doing my job, don't worry. Because Krishna is reciprocating with the devotees. And just like Mother Yashoda was focused on Krishna and churning butter, Krishna was focused on Mother Yashoda also. Which is why after so much endeavor, Krishna came out. He was asleep, but the Lord is never asleep. He may appear to be asleep like a child, but he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he woke up and he came out and he reciprocated with his mother by telling her that I want milk from you. And that is actually an act of reciprocation. Mother Yashoda was serving Krishna, and therefore giving him milk was a natural extension of that service. So you see, the important thing we should take back is this point of purity. I started by talking about yogic work or yogic potential or yogic exercises and the importance that we sometimes miss out on when we are actually chanting the holy names. Chanting the holy names must be done, right, with full lung capacity, with so much enthusiasm and so much focus. The more you are focused, the more peaceful you become. That becomes very important. Sometimes, we sit down and we are chanting and chanting, but we are distracted, we're just mumbling. Now later when we come to light the lamps, how many of us are focused on chanting as well as lighting? It becomes very important, and it's become a habit. Because it's a bad habit, it's a difficult habit to break. Because the juice concentrate has become diluted. You see the point? Mother Yashoda's concentration was not diluted. So it was very clear and very focused. And so Krishna would stand like a night watchman. He was a charioteer for Arjuna. And a charioteer is such a menial person on the battlefield. He was the messenger on behalf of the Pandavas to go and see the Kauravas and pray to them and ask them, one more time, please settle this matter. So in all these ways, Krishna served the Pandavas. Krishna serves every devotee, but to the extent that you are concentrated and pure in your intention towards Krishna, to that extent you will sense the reciprocation of Krishna. Otherwise, the reason is there is too much dilution. So therefore, Mother Yashoda started feeding Krishna on her lap. And as she fed Krishna, she became very happy, because the happiness that comes from serving the Lord is not material happiness. It is spiritual happiness. Have you realized that when you perform something which is spiritual, not just by serving the Lord, but serving the devotees, you become so happy? Mataji, today you have invited so many devotees, right? I'm seeing the hall is full. But the smart devotees are the ones who have taken the ring sight at the top there. These 4 individuals, right, they're highly intelligent, They waited for everyone to sit down, no space, then they went up. And you see, they're so relaxed, they have the fan and they're cool, they have plenty of space, right? So this is concentration. So my point is that when a devotee desires to serve the way Prabhu and Mataji have desired to serve, welcome Vaishnavas on a Monday, which is a weekday. Everyone's working, everyone's tired, they are also tired. But despite their fatigue, they have concentrated their effort to serve the devotees. So if you have no capacity to serve Krishna directly, have the capacity to serve the devotees. Devotees are very kind, and they will always be happy with your service. Every devotee who leaves today after the program, after nice Ekadeshi Prasadam, because there's always an incentive on Ekadeshi, isn't it? They will go back blessing Prabhu and Mataji and their children, because they are pleased. Therefore, Mother Yashoda pleased Krishna, and Krishna blessed her by giving her the chance to serve him. You see the reciprocation? How beautiful it is. And then, another aspect of devotional service is, devotees will always face reverses in their lives. This is the part where some devotees become a little bit edgy. If I take up devotional service, everything should be roses, everything should be wonderful. But we all know it's not. Because taking up bhakti doesn't mean there are no challenges. But for a devotee, the challenges in devotional service and in the material world that we face are actually under the protective energy of Krishna. We are not under karma. We are under Sukriti. Please remember that. There is a difference. When a devotee is going through challenges in life, the devotee sees it as the mercy of the Lord. He does not see, or she does not see it as something which is bothersome. It may be bothering us, but we always have the faith that Krishna, whatever difficulty that is coming, I am responsible for it. You are not responsible for it. Tatte nukampam sushamikshmano bunjana evatma kritam vipakam. See, the devotee, he or she endures the difficulties. And instead of wallowing in self-pity or feeling discouraged and disillusioned, the devotee uses Hrik Vak Vapurbir Vidade Namaste. The devotee pays obeisances to Krishna, and the devotee uses his heart, his words, and his deeds to increase his devotional service. Why to waste time complaining about why I'm in difficulty? The time that you complain to someone else about your difficulty, you can chant one good mala of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Another 10 minutes of complaining about your problems, you can learn one more shloka from Bhagavad Gita. Another 10 minutes of crying and moaning and groaning, you can actually perform nice arati for Krishna. All of these that I described will ultimately reduce the pain in your hearts. In the beginning, the mind will resist. The mind will say, no, it can't be. But if you continue the process will actually work. Because this process is actually non-different from Krishna. This is a very important point. Devotional service is non-different from Krishna. Devotional service is not a manifestation. It is non-different from Krishna. Please remember that. Therefore, wherever there is bhakti, there is Krishna. And that's why Mother Yashoda got the benediction of serving the Lord. First by laboriously, with endeavor, churning butter. And then after that, actually serving him by giving him her milk. And Mother Yashoda was now tested by Krishna because she had put milk on a stove. And that milk was threatening to boil over. But you see, the beauty of this challenge is that Mother Yashoda was put in an awkward situation. And she thought, should I put Krishna down, or should I go or should I not, or should I let the milk just boil over? Or should I save the milk and put Krishna down? Because if I put Krishna down, he will be upset because he has not been fully fed. And he may throw a tantrum. But Mother Yashoda thought, I must save the milk, but I must take a chance with Krishna. Because the milk is ultimately for Krishna. And so Mother Yashoda did just that. She went into the room and into the kitchen and she took the milk. But by the time she came back, Krishna had made it more difficult for her. Krishna became transcendently upset that his mother had put him down. And therefore he broke the pot of milk. And when he broke the pot of milk, which was churned into butter, all the butter flowed out. Now you must know that one of Krishna's greatest and famous pastimes in Vrindavan was that he was a thief. And generally speaking, if you talk about someone being a thief, that's not a very palatable thing to talk about. In Singapore, by the way, and in many other countries, it's a crime, right? It's a crime. But in Vrindavan Dham, when you speak about Krishna stealing, nobody thinks about it as a crime. Because Vrindavan has no jail, by the way, right? The jail is in the material world. Vrindavan is where you're free. But people forget one important point. Krishna stole butter. But the real reason for stealing butter was to fulfill the desire of all the mothers who were in Vrindavan and who actually wanted to feed Krishna but never got the chance to. So what did Krishna do? Krishna stole butter from them. And by stealing butter, he actually satisfied them. They would come before Mother Yashoda with a big list of complaints. Krishna came to my house, he came to my house, he came to my house. And they would say that he stole butter, we caught him. And Mother Yashoda would bring Krishna. And Krishna would appear with butter all over his face. And she would ask him a direct question, did you take butter or not? And Krishna would look at her with the most innocent look. And he would say, Mother, I have never stolen butter in my life. That was the amazing thing about Krishna. And Mother Yashoda would start smiling even though she wasn't supposed to. Mothers, you've been in situations where your children very naughty. A lot of children here, right? Very, very naughty. But even though their mischief is there, they're actually very adorable. But what you try to do is you try to look very strict in front of them. Sometimes you can't help it, you want to smile. But if you smile, they know it's fine. And that's dangerous, isn't it? Right? But so Mother Yashoda could not help herself. Because this was no ordinary child. This was the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And what does the name Krishna mean? Krishna means all attractive. In other words, anything Krishna does is always attractive. That's the meaning of all attractive. All attractive means Krishna can steal and everyone would love him. You steal and it's a different story, right? Krishna could do anything and everyone would love it. But we can't do that because we are not all attractive. And therefore the gopis' desire to serve Krishna by feeding him butter was actually fulfilled by the Lord by him stealing butter. And by stealing butter, Bhagavatam tells us, not only did Krishna steal butter from them, but he actually stole their hearts. Because frankly speaking, all the butter in Vrindavan belongs to Krishna. Isn't it true? All the motas in Vrindavan and all the equipment for churning butter, they all belong to Krishna. This house in Howkang Central also belongs to Krishna. Doesn't it? Your sharir, your bodies belong to Krishna. These karatals and the harmoniums belong to Krishna. The sound system belongs to Krishna. Nothing is ours. If it was ours, we will take it with us when we die. We can't even take our sharir with us when we die. What to speak of all of this? So therefore, Krishna being a butter thief should be understood in the right context. It is not a sentimental concept. Oh, he was a thief and it was so nice. No, that means you're trying to think of Krishna as an ordinary cute boy. But he's not. Please don't make that mistake. We must understand that Krishna's attraction is so powerful because everything belonged to Krishna. And the residents of Vrindavan gave their lives to Krishna because they felt that they belonged to Krishna. That is why they could give their life to Krishna. It's a very different concept, but we must embrace it. Then we bring Vrindavan atmosphere into our lives. That's the point of this pastime. And so Mother Yashoda came back and she saw that Krishna had broken the pot and that he had run away and that he had also eaten some butter. He had stepped on butter and his feet were showing the way in. And Mother Yashoda thought, since my son is so delinquent in nature and that he is stealing butter, it is time now to discipline him. I am going to take a stick and I'm going to walk in and I will make sure this doesn't happen again, especially on Diwali. So Mother Yashoda walked inside and she saw an amazing sight in the storehouse. She saw baby Krishna, very young, standing on the mortar which is used to grind spices and which is quite high, and he was breaking pots of milk, pots of butter which were stored up. They were obviously stored up because they should be out of the reach of Krishna. But Krishna also showed us by breaking that pots that nothing is out of his reach. Nothing in this world is out of the reach of Krishna. And Krishna was breaking pots, and as he broke pots, butter was flowing. And his best friends in Vrindavan, the monkeys, were all enjoying transcendental prasadam distribution. Right? This is the first instance, I believe, in Krishna Leela of transcendental prasadam distribution on a massive scale. Because the monkeys were many, but these monkeys were no ordinary monkeys. Already in Vrindavan, if you are born as a monkey, you are considered to be a highly elevated soul. But these monkeys in this Leela were very special because they were the Vanaras in Lord Ram's Leela. And they got the benediction from Lord Ram that somehow or another they should come back again. If the Lord comes back to the world, the only benediction they wanted was to come back to see Krishna. Nanaka prishtam na chaparameshtam na sarvabhaumam na rasadipatyam na yoga siddhir apunar bhavam va samanjasadva virahaya kangshe. Vritasur in Bhagavatam says that without serving the Lord, who is the source of all opportunities, I don't want to be the king of any of the three worlds. I don't desire yogic powers, and I don't even desire liberation from the cycle of birth and death. All I want is one opportunity to serve you, my Lord. That's all he wants. And that is the same mood of the gopis. It is the same mood of Mother Yashoda. And it was the same mood of the monkeys, the Vanaras, who were in Vrindavan. So, one very important point about this exchange is the gratitude of Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna is so grateful to devotees that whatever devotees have done for him, he never forgets it. This is a very important point. Gratitude is a very important part of success in devotional service. If we don't have gratitude for whatever Krishna has given us, then we lose out in our devotional service. Devotional service becomes an ornament for a Vaishnava when it has humility, and a product of humility is always gratitude. Very important. So Krishna actually, as Lord Ram, showed his gratitude to the Vanaras by allowing them to join him in this Leela. And he extended his gratitude even more by actually feeding them butter. That was Krishna's gratitude to his devotees. And the devotees, the monkeys themselves, their desire to serve Krishna was an expression of their gratitude to Lord Ram. That, my dear Lord, you are so kind, you've given us a chance to serve you. So let us serve you again. You see the exchange of gratitude? So there's so much of gratitude in this Leela also. And Mother Yashoda was just watching, thinking this was just a spectacle of mischief between the monkeys and her little boy Krishna. When the monkeys saw Mother Yashoda, they decided enough of gratitude. Now we have done our part. We have taken enough butter. It's time to run. And monkeys being monkeys, they left very quickly, leaving only Krishna behind. And when Krishna turned around and he realized his mother was there, that was all right. Krishna loved his mother, but he didn't like the stick that his mother was holding. He didn't love the stick too much. So he thought he was going to be beaten by his mother. So what did Krishna do? He jumped off the motor and very quickly started running. Now Krishna was very tiny. Yesterday we went to a house program, and you know, it was to our surprise. When we walked in, there was a huge picture, painting, right, of Mother Yashoda chasing Krishna. They have it there. It's part of their house. And it's so nice that they had it. And it was easy for us to talk on it because you can just keep pointing to the pastime. And it was such a beautiful illustration because Mother Yashoda is running after Krishna. A hand is coming forward like she's going to catch him, but she catches air. And again she tries, but she catches air. And again she tries and she catches air. And Mother Yashoda is getting tired because the truth of the matter is no one can chase Krishna, and what to speak of catching him in the first place. Great yogis, great tyagis, great rishis, great munis, they are all trying to catch Krishna. They are all pursuing Krishna. But Krishna does not allow them to actually complete the pursuit until his mercy descends upon them. This is very important. Krishna is always testing devotees who are running after him. In one sense, we are all on this journey of running after Krishna. Isn't it true? Today I was reflecting. Actually, Mother Yashoda's running was that moment. But for all of us as devotees, we've been running for years. Isn't it true? Every morning when we wake up and chant Krishna's name, we are running after Krishna. Now also you came all the way to Haokang Central because you're running after Krishna. Later when you offer lamps to him, you're running after him. Why? Because Krishna is the object of your life. For Mother Yashoda, her act of running, even though it was making her perspire, even though it was laborious, but it was an act of devotion because Krishna was her goal. You don't run after something unless it is your goal. Isn't it true? You only run after something if you make it your goal. So Mother Yashoda's goal was to serve Krishna. She had to catch him, and in her mind serving him was to discipline him. That's it. But she couldn't catch him because Krishna does not allow himself to be caught so easily. And that's why we are still chasing Krishna. But when Mother Yashoda surrendered to Krishna, when she felt, Krishna, I cannot catch you. I give up. I've tried all I can. But now you need to be merciful to me. When she surrendered to the Lord in that way, in her heart, with prayer, then Krishna decided, let me be caught by Mother Yashoda. So for us as devotees, this is a very important proposition. The proposition for a devotee is that until and unless we are really taking our devotional service seriously, enthusiastically running after Krishna, enthusiastically serving the devotees, but we must always keep in mind that we are not the controllers. The moment we realize we cannot control something and we surrender to Krishna, then Krishna fulfills what is needed or required for us. That is the way Krishna functions with us. That is the way the great devotees function with us. The great devotees, our spiritual masters, the acharyas, they want to see how much we endeavor. But based on our endeavor, they are then ready to reciprocate. And isn't it true even in the material world? Your performance determines, how much mercy your leadership gives you actually. But it's so much driven by your performance. But performance is not enough. Finally, the sanction of the leadership is needed before you get your bonus. Otherwise, it doesn't come. Mother Yashoda's bonus was steeped in her surrender to Krishna. And Krishna surrendered to her. The moment she surrendered to Krishna, what did Krishna do? He surrendered. He didn't play hard to get. Oh, now you've surrendered to me. Let me think about it. No. He immediately surrendered. Okay, fine. Mother, you have surrendered. I'm surrendering to you also. And he got caught. And when he got caught, he displayed another aspect of pastime which is so unusual. Something that's never been seen before. Krishna displayed fear of his mother, or rather his mother's stick. He was very afraid that he would be beaten and disciplined. So Krishna began to cry. And Krishna cried so much that his tears were like rivulets. And they washed away the mascara and the kajal, right? Bhagavatam, Kunti Mata is remembering this scene. And she says, Vaktram niniya bhaya bhavanaya stitasya. Krishna, this sight is so amazing. Sa ma vimohayati bir apitat bibheti. This sight of you being afraid of Mother Yashoda is bewildering to me, because I understand that even fear personified is fearful of you, Krishna. The Kauravas were the greatest on the planet, and yet they were fearful of Krishna. Even the great generals became fearful of Krishna. Even the great demons are fearful of Krishna. Hiranyakashipu made such a big deal about who he was, but when Nrsimhadev came out of that pillar, his heart skipped a beat. Hiranyakashipu, first of all, didn't have a heart. He was a heartless demon. But his heart skipped a beat when he saw this powerful Nrsimhadev. Just imagine how powerful is Krishna. And this great Krishna, who is feared by all, is fearful of his mother. And frankly speaking, I don't think Mother Yashoda was a super strict mother, from hell, so to speak. She was not. She was very loving, she was very kind, and yet he submitted to her. And now Mother Yashoda decided, I cannot punish Krishna, not with the stick. So she puts the stick down and she says, Krishna, stand there, I'm going to tie you. She thought by tying him, at least he will become less restless, right? So then she takes the rope and she brings it towards him. But at the final point when the rope can be tied, it is 2 inches short. She brings more ropes and it is 2 inches short. She brings more ropes and it is still 2 inches short. Mother Yashoda decides the calculation isn't right. This is highly illogical. The gopis are now watching the scene because she has asked them for help because there's no more rope left in the house. And so finally, with so much endeavor, Mother Yashoda fails in binding Krishna, because Krishna cannot be bound by an ordinary material object. He can't. He can only be bound by the spiritual rope of surrender and love. And so Mother Yashoda, for the 3rd time in the day, endeavors and she surrenders. The beauty of surrender is that you have to endeavor. And the beauty of sincere endeavor is that it must end with surrender. That is the connection between endeavor and surrender. And to have good endeavor towards Krishna, you must be attentive to Krishna's needs, what Krishna wants. The more we are attentive to Krishna, the more our endeavor gains momentum. Otherwise, our endeavor is ritualistic. I have to light the lamp, I have to do it, because there's no attention. Okay, because Prabhu have told me I have to do it, right? Let me do it. Maybe some punya will come. There is no attention. But Mother Yashoda had full attention on Krishna. She forgot about Diwali. She forgot about everything else. It was just Krishna. And that's why her endeavor transformed into surrender. And her surrender attracted Krishna and he agreed to be bound. You see how logical is the process of bhakti. And when Krishna became bound, he became bound because the two inches that were short came together in Mother Yashoda's surrender to Krishna. Mother Yashoda's surrender was steeped on her endeavor, which is the first inch. And her endeavor attracted the second inch, which is the mercy of the Lord. Do you know in the 3rd canto, 9th chapter of Bhagavatam, Brahmaji has heartfelt prayers to Krishna. For so many years he prays to Krishna on the lotus flower, dark and alone. And when he finally finishes his prayers with so much endeavor, Krishna appears before him. And when Krishna appears before him, Krishna says something very important. He says that, please know, Brahmaji, that your penances that you have undertaken, your chanting that you have done, and all the austerities that you have done are all my mercy. Even our austerity of coming to the house program is Krishna's mercy. Even our so-called austerity of fasting on Ekadashi is his mercy. Is his mercy. So therefore, even our endeavor is actually on the platform of Krishna's mercy. So you see how powerful mercy is. And not only is the mercy of Krishna powerful, the mercy of the Vaishnava is even more powerful. Because Krishna imbues the Vaishnava with more mercy. And that is why in this pastime there is the second part. The first part concentrates on Krishna's mercy. But now it ends because Krishna is tied and Mother Yashoda leaves. But now Krishna has one more thing to fulfill. Krishna is bound again, not just by Mother Yashoda. He is now bound by Narada Muni. And so he crawls towards the 2 Yamal Arjuna trees at the far end of the courtyard. And at the end of the courtyard, as he crawls like a little child, the mota is moving with him. It has turned from vertical to horizontal, and it's rolling with him. And as he passes through the trees, he's small enough, so that's fine. But the mota gets stuck. But nothing gets stuck with Krishna, isn't it? If you have Krishna, nothing is stuck. Everything is cleared by Krishna. If you chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare, what happens? All your obstacles, everything that you think is a big problem in your life, they become cleared by Krishna's mercy. This is Krishna. And therefore Krishna made the 2 trees crash to the ground. And in their place were 2 beautiful devatas, originally from Swargaloka. And their names were Manigriva and Nalakuvara. They were the sons of Kuver. And Krishna said, what happened to you 2 boys? Why are you here? And they said, it's a long story, Krishna. And now they started their story. You realize that the pastimes of the Lord are so relishable. And in the pastimes of others are also relishable because of Krishna. If you and I started talking after the program and I started telling you my pastime today, you will say, Prabhu, I'll go and take prasadam now, see you later. You know, our pastimes are nothing. But Krishna's pastimes are beautiful because they really let you pass your time. When you're with Krishna, the pastime means what? To pass your time, isn't it? That's what it means. Pastime means to pass time. But we forget, just like breakfast means what? Break fast. Breakfast means to break your fast. Pastime means to pass your time. So actually, whenever we want to pass time, we should hear Krishna's pastimes. And we become very peaceful. But if we hear your pastime and my pastime, we become agitated. Agitated. When husband and wife come home and they talk about each other's pastimes, they are lucky if it's not Kurukshetra. They are lucky because something will irritate somebody, right? But with Krishna, nobody is irritated. So the boys, because they were connected to Krishna now, their pastime becomes very sweet. And they said, Krishna, 10,000 years ago, right, we were actually very pious individuals. But because we were the sons of Kuver, we eventually gave up our devotional service because we were intoxicated by pride. And because of pride, we also became intoxicated with beverage. And we started drinking the alcoholic beverages which are available in Swargaloka. By the way, if you read Bhagavatam, you'll realize the tiger beers of Singapore and the local world, they are nothing compared to the alcoholic beverages of Swargaloka. That's like really 100% content alcohol, right? Here it's diluted. Again, it's concentrated. but it's the wrong concentration, of course. So the boys became very intoxicated in their sedentary and luxurious and sense gratificatory lifestyle. One day they were bathing in the lake of the Mandakini river in Kailash. Now you may think, how come they can bathe in Mount Kailash, which is a very sacred place? But Bhagavatam tells us they could bathe there because Kuber was considered to be an associate of Lord Shiva. And therefore his sons got free passes to go into Mandakini river. But they used their passes wrongly. Instead of remembering Krishna and taking nice bath and coming out and chanting, they were intoxicated and playing in the bath until Narada Muni passed by. When a sadhu comes, you come out, put on your clothes and you bow before sadhu. They came out with no clothes and they just stood in a drunken stupor in front of Narada. Narada became very sad to see them in this state, because he thought, you two boys were born into a family of devotees. You're all from Swargaloka. You're devatas. Instead of remembering the goal of life, you have lost sight of the goal of life. So because you have no value for the human life, let me now curse that you become trees in your next life. Why trees? Because trees don't have to wear clothes. So it's a good way to become, if you don't want to wear clothes, if you're not interested in wearing clothes, become trees. And you will become trees, but not trees anywhere else. I pray that you will become trees in such a way that Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he will see you one day and you will see him, and by that darshan you will become liberated. See the mercy. Now we're looking at a devotee. See the mercy of a devotee. Narada Muni was insulted by these two boys. That's what they did. They insulted him. It was an offense. Did he return an offense with anger? Did he counteract the offense by being counteractive? He did not. They meant him ill, but he meant them well. This is mood of Vaishnava. All of us must take back this mood today. You forget anything else about the past time. Not telling you to forget, but it's okay. But you take this back. You know why? Because we are always working with devotees. We are always interacting with devotees. And if you insult a devotee, if you offend a devotee, if you are not sensitive to a devotee, if you're not loving to a devotee, if you're not serving a devotee, if a devotee feels hurt, then that hurt will cause havoc in your spiritual life. Because they heard Narada Muni, even though Narada Muni prayed for them, and he said, you become trees. And he prayed to Krishna, please deliver them, Krishna. But they had to wait for thousands of years before they were delivered. Someone asked a very nice question once. Why did the trees have to wait so long to see Krishna? They had to wait so long, not because they were in a queue. They had to wait so long because Krishna was not happy with the way they treated Narada. And that's why they had to wait it out. It was not immediate. Even if a devotee forgives a person who offends him, it is not necessary that the Lord will forgive. The Lord is still upset and he is ready to teach you a lesson. It was only because Ambarish Maharaj earnestly prayed to Sudarshan Chakra, back off, Sudarshan Chakra, please back off. Then Durvasa Muni was saved. Otherwise he was finished. So Krishna's point in this part of the Leela is very important to us. Do not take devotees for granted. It's Ekadeshi Day, Prabhu's Mataji's. Look around you, look to the devotee next to you and appreciate him and appreciate her. And never ever think ill of a devotee. Devotees may sometimes say something harsh. Sometimes because of modes of material nature, they may not say the right thing. But at the end of the day, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's definition of a Vaishnava is one who chants harekrishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare. So we should be very careful. And so these two boys got the benediction of Narada, and therefore they now appeared before Krishna. And Krishna just had one parting point to them. He said that because I am bound by the love of Narada Muni and his devotion, I am now liberating you. If not, I have nothing to do with you. Why? Because you were not worshipping me. You were worshipping alcohol, but you were not worshipping me. But Narada prayed for you, and therefore you're being liberated. And you know what the two boys say? It's very important. In 10:10:37 of Bhagavatam, they say this very important point. And repeat after me, because this will really enshrine what happens when a devotee repents. They said, O Supreme Form, we are always servants, of your servants, especially of Narada Muni. Now give us permission, to leave for our home. It is by His grace, and mercy. It is by the grace, and mercy, of Narada Muni that we have been able to see you face to face. This is the turning point for the two boys. The moment they chanted this prayer, Krishna became satisfied. Why? Because Krishna could understand that now they have expressed gratitude to the devotees. And when we express genuine gratitude to the devotees, repentance automatically comes. Sometimes we think, Prabhu, how to repent? Express gratitude, and your repentance is automatic. Gratitude is the positive way to inculcate repentance in our heart. And that's what the two boys did. And repentance and gratitude for devotees automatically attracts Krishna's mercy, the second inch of the 2 inch. So our endeavor is to express gratitude. Our endeavor is to express repentance. Krishna's endeavor is to give us mercy. This is Bhagavatam. This is the relationship, the beautiful relationship between Krishna and his devotees. And this is Vrindavan Dham. And finally, Krishna ends the whole beautiful pastime with transcendental humor. He smilingly looks at them and says, even though I'm still bound by Mother Yashoda's ropes, I now declare you unbound. And you are free now to go. Krishna was tied, but he said, you two are now free to go. And in that way, this beautiful pastime ends. Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Srila Gurudev ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki Jai. Jai Nitai Gaura Premanande. Are there any questions, Prabhu's Matajis? Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu, you mentioned that we should sing and chant Mahamantras.
Yes.
So, just wanted to understand, is it different that what we do chanting our malas and we do, how different is it?
When we do japa, you mean, Prabhu? As compared to Kirtan? No difference actually. When you're singing Kirtan in the gathering of devotees, your ability to heighten your remembrance of Krishna will increase. Because you're singing together. But even when you're with devotees, Prabhu, if you sing with your heart, you'll really concentrate. Otherwise, you may be distracted. But if you're sitting down and doing your japa must be in such a way that you can hear your chanting clearly. If you're hearing your chanting clearly, your breathing is very, very, very perfect. Because that little bit of hearing equals to exertion of your breath, which is necessary in Patanjali's yoga. Patanjali's yoga talks about exertion of breath to a certain point, and that's how you inhale and exhale. The Mahamantra does it effectively, very normally. If you chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare, at this tone, or if it's very very early in the morning, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Even then you will hear the Mahamantra. The moment you hear Prabhu, your mind is captured. And if you are able to exert your breath in such a way that you are chanting Krishna's names loudly enough, you are already regulating your breathing. No need for anything else. It is perfectly done. And you do 2 hours of that, and that's 2 hours of amazing yoga. But it's bhakti yoga. It's absolutely bhakti yoga. You see the point? So it may be helpful for us from time to time. It may be helpful because we don't want to take on, allopathy medicine. Some people do yoga as an exercise. But don't make it the whole and soul of your life. And don't get so caught up with that you forget that the holy name is so complete. It takes care of your health also. And it takes care of every aspect of your life. Because Krishna is complete. He's Purnam. So whatever you do for him completes you also, Prabhu. That's the philosophical basis of it. Does it make sense? It does, right? Any other questions? From the circle of seats upstairs, the yogis who are floating in the sky. All good, Prabhus? Everyone fine? Yeah? Chandrakant Prabhu is in Ananda Shayanam pose. By the way, he's like that. He's like that. Very nice. I'm thinking of Padmanabha Swami in Trivandrum. Shall we do? Yes, Prabhu. Do you have another question? Okay, one more and then we chant.
You mentioned that the devotee is not under karma but under Sukriti. So
He's under the internal energy of the Lord. Sukriti is part of it. Yes.
So actually, what exactly here Sukriti means?
Sukriti generally means something that you have done inadvertently or advertently in your previous life, but which brought you into line of devotional service, and somehow or another you are reaping the great benefits of it. For example, maybe in your past life you were born in UK, and you were passing by some Vaishnavas who were chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, but you were a Pakka English gentleman, and you thought these people are just very funny and humorous, and you heard them chanting and you walked away. That is Sukriti. That the ability to be able to hear pierces your heart, builds faith inside, and next life it takes form, and it allows you to have another meeting with devotees, and then that meeting grows your Sukriti and it turns into bhakti. Almost all of us came to Krishna consciousness actually because of Ajnana Sukriti. Almost everyone. Some kind devotee probably gave us some prasadam or cheated us and say, hey, come for a function. And then he came and he got culture shock. Why are people jumping up and down? Why are people looking like that? And things like that, right? So that is Sukriti, you see. Sometimes people mock us on the streets when we do Harinam. Oh, what is this chanting? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. But by chanting it, very nice. Srila Prabhupada said one time a devotee came with a newspaper in US, and in the newspaper they were actually criticizing the Krishna consciousness movement. And they thought Prabhupada would get upset. Prabhupada said, can you count in the article how many times the word Krishna comes? And they said many times, and Prabhupada said, Hari Bol. They're all going to get Sukriti because you're chanting Krishna's names. So that's the power of Sukriti. Now we are also instruments of Sukriti now. Because we are so loud by nature, right? All their neighbors are hearing this now. Prabhu, I don't know whether your neighbors have been informed of the program. Are they okay? Not informed? Any police will come? No problem. Even police come, Sukriti is there for them. Right? But I want you to be in good relations with your neighbors. That's very important. But they also hear this. And we're on the ground floor some more, So that's heavy duty, right? Everybody can hear. That's Sukriti, Prabhu. Someone who may come for the first time here and never heard about this, it's their Sukriti also. Is that helpful? So very nice. Look at all these children, these young ones here. How much Sukriti they must have had in previous life that they are now born. They are born into devotional service. They are born into it. How glorious is their life. We did everything we shouldn't do and then we came to Krishna. But these people are born into it. So how much of devotional Sukriti is there? You see the point? So we are recipients of Sukriti and we are givers of Sukriti also. Alright, Prabhu? Shall we chant Damodara Ashtakam? Very nice. Is everything ready, Prabhu, for it? How do we divide ourselves? Okay, Prabhu, all of you sitting here, you have to now float. You have to go behind, I think. Or you can join the yogis who are in the air. Namamishwaram Sachiranandarupam Lasat Kundalam Gokule Brajamana Yashoda Violu Kalabhava Mahalam Param Rishtahamadyan Tato Drutya Bhutya Jai Yashoda Damodara जी की। नमामीश्वरं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं रसकुण्डलं गोकुले व्रजमानं। हरि बोल। यशोदाभियोलु कलद्भवमानं परामृष्टमाद्यं ततो धृत्य गोप्या। जय दामोदर जी की। इति दृक्स्वलीलादि आनंद कुंजे स्वघोषं निमाजं तमव्यापयन्तम्। हरि हरि। जय वृंदावन धाम की। वरं देवः मोक्षं न मोक्षवदिं न चान्यं वृणेऽहं परिषदपीहा। जय बाल गोपाल की। इदं ते मुखाम्बोजम् अद्यन्तनीयं कृतं कुन्तले स्निग्धरत्नश्च गोप्या। मुहुश्चुम्बितं बिम्बरक्तादरं मे मनस्याविरास्तं अलं लक्षलाभे। हरि हरि। नमो देवाय दामोदर अनंत विष्णु प्रसीदा प्रबोध गजनाभिमत। जय दामोदर सुखम में प्रयच्छा न मोक्षे ग्रहो में स्थिदामोदरे प्रेम भक्ति की नमस्ते सुधाम में स्फुरदीप्तिधाम त्वदीयोदराय विश्वस्य धाम नमो राधिकायाय त्वदीया प्रियाय नमो नन्दलीला देवाय तुभ्यम् श्रीमती राधा रानी की नमो राधिकायाय त्वदीया प्रियाय नमो नन्दलीला देवाय तुभ्यम् Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Bol. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. I can't hear you. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Vrindavan Dham, Jaya Vrindavan Dham. Vrindavan Dham ki Jaya Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan Mahayanya ki Yashoda Damodara ji ki Vrindavan Dham ki Giri Govardhana ki Sai Gaura Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki. Thank you very much.